Somebody would read in between the lines and say that this seems like, it's gearing towards a certain support. But of course, it was nowhere categorically said. There was no tacit or explicit endorsement of the political candidate John Mahama.
Yes.
So that must be put on record.
Yes. If you monitor Togo Afede from his days as the president of the National House of Chiefs, to his periodic write-ups on the health of the economy, nothing from what you have heard today will surprise you. This is typical Togo Afede. He's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's an economist.
Yeah.
And
that's the Agyapa Mafia of the Asogli state.
Yes.
And the president of the Asogli traditional area.
That's
Togo Afede.
This is the 6th or the 7th?
XIV.
Okay, the 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 14th.
Yeah.
Now, back to where I was. So, Togo Afede is essentially talking about kneecapping. I've said on this platform, times without number, that I'll wait for a day where it doesn't matter which political parties in power, businesses will be having the freedom, the right environment to operate without looking behind as to who is chasing them. I look forward to that day. Regardless of which political party is in power, I look forward to a day that a businessman will not have to look behind the shoulder just because a party that's in power doesn't find him favorable to their ideals and their interests.
Yeah.
I look forward to that because it's one of the reasons why we don't have billionaires. And even if we have, they will hide it in Ghana. One of the reasons why the state cannot beat itself and say that we made this man.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all proud of the fact that as a state, the state made this man.
Yeah, we helped him to become the billionaire that he is.
We can't. We don't have some. Because at every point in time, 50% of businesses are being dragged down.
Based on their perceived political affiliation.
It's been like that for God knows how long. Yes, we can talk about the levels and the rate. But what Togo Afede is saying, it's nothing that you need a soothsayer to tell you. It's called kneecapping. Unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with in this system. Contractors execute projects. Genuinely execute projects. Government changes hands. And they are told that Mudi Musi Canada be pro. And I'm quoting. Mudi Musi Canada be pro. To wait. You can move heaven and earth, you won't be paid. It happens. So, as we speak today, I can tell you that all the contractors who are on site will ensure that they take mobilization way above how much they are spending in constructing your roads and putting up projects. Chances are, if power changes hands, you have to go and beg. Go and see somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And sometimes, pay monies.
Yeah.
Before they get paid.
Can you imagine?
That is the system we are running right now. And it's not funny.
Sometimes you wonder why we do this to ourselves as a country, because we always want to compare ourselves as a democracy to other countries like the UK, like the United States. We really like comparing ourselves to the United States. Yeah. Now, when you go to the United States, what are they doing with regard to allowing people to flourish in the private sector? They allow people to flourish in the private sector, allow people to make so much money, and allow people to become billionaires because they know what people like that bring to their economy. If you have 2, 3, 4, 5 billionaires in your country, do you know what that does to your economy as a country? And we really don't have that. And even if we have that here in this country, the people don't show it. And a lot of them will not even keep their money here in the country or open up for people to even know about it for fear of being victimized, And it should not be like that. We should be proud. We should even be looking to make the business environment so lucrative that people would want to be here, do business here, because they know when they do good business here, they can get money. Right? Because it helps our economy. It creates the jobs. If the money that is being made here stays in the economy and it circulates in the economy, it helps us. Right? But why don't we do that? We always hear the rhetoric of, oh, the private sector is the engine of growth and we need to create the enabling environment for businesses to thrive and all of that. So why do we not allow people to legitimately make good money? Because the countries that have developed have deliberately put in place policies to allow people to do good business and make, even China, which is seen as a communist country, the number of billionaires that, the Communist Party or the Chinese government has deliberately, helped their businesses to thrive. I mean, you can criticize them for some of their other tactics and all of that, but they've deliberately made it possible for certain people to become billionaires, the Jack Ma's and co.
Yes.
Even in China. So why can't we take a cue from that? I don't, for the life of me, understand why when NDC is in power, certain businesses should suffer because they are perceived to be politically aligned to the NPP. And so when NDC is in power, you don't see those businessmen thriving and their businesses are collapsing. And then when power changes hands and NPP is in power, then you see some businesses thriving. There are elements within these political parties, both on the NDC and the NPP side, who feel that, look, if we don't clip the wings of some of these businessmen, they'll use their money to support our political opponents, which is to our detriment. And so we must frustrate them in one way, shape, or form. We hear some of these things, do we not? We hear some of these things, from other people who are in political circles who will not want to openly admit it. And it is not the best.
That's true.
Let's look at it. Let's look at it on a national level. What policies are being put in place to ensure that businesses thrive and people who are already doing something and are thriving, we enhance their businesses for them to make money? Or we don't want to see people make money?
That's the question.
We don't want to see people become billionaires. Is that the case? I mean, just imagine that Ghana had, a Dangote or people like, about 10 Dangotes in Ghana. Just imagine what that would do. Who are 10 Dangotes who are not hiding. Of course, there are entrepreneurs who are doing well, but if some of them tell you what they have to go through in order to sustain their businesses, what they have to go through, some of the things that they have to do, some of the things that they have to take to places, because a particular political party for their businesses to thrive, you will marvel. And it should not be like that.
I agree. Hopefully we'll get there one day where the national interest relative to getting Ghanaian-owned businesses to thrive, regardless of the political leanings.
It shouldn't matter at all.
Right. Yes, because the overriding point on the side of the politicians is that if we give you the leeway to operate and you make money, you
finance your political opponents. I mean, come on.
See, there's a saying in Akan, what's the name, in America, that when you cock and I cock, nobody fires. And that's how come they love their weapons, right? So to wait, when you are armed and I'm armed, we are all protected. You won't fire because you know if you fire, I'll fire. To wait in a country where everybody is empowered, right? Regardless of which political party you decide to use your money to finance, there are other 1,001 more businesses that can fund my political activity.
You have your people, I have my people.
Exactly. And that's how it ought to be. In the US, political party financing is regimented. It's codified. Raise funds from the public. And people are proud to say that I have donated to the campaign of this person. I've donated to the campaign of that person. Without political implications. But unfortunately, here is different. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
And it's not the best. It's not the best at all. We should have deliberate policy, not just the talk shop kind of things, that are being said, with politicians mounting platforms and talking about how we're going to help the private sector. Government cannot employ everybody, and so we need to enhance the private sector, and we're encouraging entrepreneurship and all of that. The people who are already doing business here, you see, a lot of the very big businesses here in Ghana are taking their money elsewhere. The multinationals, some of them are, very, very big businesses. And they are taking their monies elsewhere. They make the money here in Ghana. Yes, they're employing people, they are creating, jobs and all of that. But a lot of the profits and the proceeds that come from their businesses, some of them are repatriated. Most of them are repatriated to go and help the economies of other countries. because these are multinational companies which are big, which have come into Ghana to come and set up shop and are doing good business. Obviously, when they are making their money and they are done, a lot of the money is going to go out of the country. And I even want to believe that that is one of the reasons why Ghana is the 6th leading producer of gold in the world. 6th leading producer of gold in the world. Right? That is Ghana. Yet, what do we have to show for all the gold that we are producing? Number one, in Africa. A lot of those who are in Ghana mining gold are not fully Ghanaian companies. A lot of the gold mining, except for those who are doing small-scale mining, they're very big mining companies who are, mining gold here. When they finish mining the gold and all of that, where does the profits that they make, where does the money go? It goes to other economies. That is why now, governments want to do plans to make sure that some of the money stays here. You hear policymakers trying to make certain policies to ensure that when people produce gold and all of that, some of the money stays here and all of that. We need to be deliberate at creating, not just standing there and talking about creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Like deliberately making it possible for, if someone is making money and is doing good and genuine business, we push the person. We put in place the necessary, because we see this person as a potential, right? So we put in place the necessary measures and the necessary steps to make sure that that person's business thrives and that person grows. Yes, the person will make money. We shouldn't be jealous of the person making money, because if the person is making money and is making billions of Ghana cedis and billions of dollars, and the money is staying here in the country and circulating in the country, it is good for us as a people. So we should be raising businessmen. If we see that somebody is doing well, somebody has done business in this country and has grown so big and is making so much money, what more can we do to, help enhance the person's business? It doesn't matter which political coloration is attributed to the person. What are we looking at first and foremost? We are looking at the potential of that particular person to help our economy, to help create jobs, to help make money that circulates here, to even help attract more investment into the country. We should be looking at doing some of these things in Ghana. And sometimes the petty politics must really, really, really stop, right? Let's go beyond, my dear politicians. Let's go beyond the rhetoric of creating an enabling environment. All of them talk about that. You hear the NDC talk about we need to create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive so that businesses can function, and all of that. We've heard those rhetorics before. We've heard the MPP also talk about believing in the private sector, and government cannot employ everybody. It's only the private sector, and we need to make sure that the private sector, grows and all of that. We need to do that. We need to put our money where our mouth is and make sure that our private sector is growing and growing, properly, appropriately, right? It's 8:50 a.m. You're still tuned into The Morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM. And there's still more to come. We'll take a short break here. When we return, we'll get to talking. Stay tuned.